Justin Gaethje, a collegiate wrestler who doesn't wrestle. He's got powerful hands and willingness to engage. He has no problem moving forward, swinging wild. Paddy Pimblett, a big, strong grappler. Paddy's listed as a smaller person here. He will look bigger in the cage, and I think he is bigger. He's 5'10". Justin Gaethje's 5'11". I don't believe those numbers. Paddy Pimblett is big as shit for this weight class. And when he uses that size and he comes forward, he drags it to the ground, he has a lot of success. On the ground, he's a very slick grappler with incredible control. And if you told me a year ago that Paddy Pimblett would be a UFC champion, I would call you gay. I would accuse you of being a British homer, and I would send you packing. But here we are. We are just a few weeks removed from the bowl-cut king holding a UFC belt. And I love Justin Gaethje. I love Justin Gaethje. He's a dying breed of savage in the UFC, but I don't think he wins here. He was a collegiate wrestler, but he doesn't wrestle. And while I wouldn't want him wrestling in this matchup, I think the problem is he's going to need to defend some takedowns, and those aren't great either. He just got taken down by Rafael Fiziev.
Keeps his chin way up in the air. I know that's why people love him. I know people love Paddy Pimblett because of that. The problem is, though, I just don't like seeing that and then trying to justify picking him to beat Justin Gaethje, who just beat Rafael Fiziev a couple of times in the last few years. Now, I know that Fiziev was short notice in this one, coming off an injury, and he, it is what it is. But another thing about Gaethje I want to bring up too is recently in his career, he's kind of just sort of started to wrestle a little bit more. This no wrestling thing that he did have going on for a long time, he's kind of abandoned it, which I think is good. I know that Paddy Pimblett's grappling is really elite, and if Gaethje tries to take him down, it probably would be a mistake, but that tells me the wrestling is something that he's still got in his back pocket, something that he can use to keep the fight on the feet, keep the fight standing. And I think that when the fight is standing, yes, Pimblett looks so good against Chandler. I think Chandler just sucks, I'll be honest. I think I was wrong about Chandler. I think that's also part of it too. I think Gaethje goes out there and beats Paddy Pimblett, man. I think he's the much better striker out of the two. We've seen him go 5 rounds. We saw him go 5 rounds against Holloway. I know that he got knocked out in the last second of that fight, and it did kind of suck for that. I actually think I picked Holloway to beat him, though. I can't actually remember. But anyway, it kind of sucked for Gaethje for that to have happened, but, it did kind of create a viral moment that people are still trying to recreate to this day.
Paddy versus Gaethje is a bigger fight than Arman versus either of those two.
Okay.
It's a Paramount biggest first pay-per-view. I'm talking with my hands a lot. Go on.
No, I'm good.
Who you guys got? Paddy versus Gaethje? It's an interesting fight.
I got Paddy all day.
I think Paddy too.
Bad, dude. He's good.
It's weird though. It's like 3 years ago you asked me that. I'm like, I don't know. Jared Gordon beat him. It's like, but now Paddy's on it. Paddy's good.
Who did Justin just fight, like, recent?
Justin hasn't fought him.
He got knocked
last
out.
fight.
The last fight he got knocked out, right? By Holloway?
Max? Oh, shit. Justin or
No,
that was Justin, but Max Holloway knocked him out, yeah?
No,
they
they
were
were
just
37. He's not gonna. His last fight, he's not gonna get KO'd and then come and do a title fight, is he?
Not his last fight.
He beat Rafael Fiziev. So he lost to Max, then he beat Rafael Fiziev.
Artem Lobov highlighted Justin Gaethje's long history of 5-round wars, stressing that his ability to function under sustained pressure isn't theoretical. It's been proven repeatedly. While Gaethje may not actively look for grappling exchanges, simply having wrestling as a defensive layer could be enough to deny Paddy Pimblett the control he relies on to impose his game.
Ilya or Paddy? I mean, the fight not happening. It's Justin or Paddy now. Paddy got to get past Justin. Justin's a tough fight, bro. I don't know. A lot of people sleeping on Justin on the Paddy fight, which just makes me ridiculous.
Discussion then shifted back to striking, with analysts noting that Gaethje's ability to survive chaotic firefights and still deliver damaging shots late in fights makes him uniquely dangerous. That trait becomes especially important against a fighter like Paddy Pimblett, whose fan-friendly confidence can sometimes drift into moments of vulnerability.
On the line, Patrick Pimblett taking on Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, and the retirement of a legend, the human highlight reel hasn't got that nickname for nothing. Justin Gaethje has been a phenomenal athlete in the UFC, a former interim champion, former BMF champion. The body of work he puts down means that for me he's first ballot Hall of Famer. But it all ends on January 24th when Mr. Patrick Pimblett will become interim lightweight champion. How do you want it, boys? Knockout, submission. It ain't going past 2. Take your pick.
As well.
Gaethje is seen as someone who dictates tempo through constant pressure and positioning, using his wrestling background not to dominate, but to deny opportunities. By doing so, he forces the fight to stay in areas where his toughness and durability can take over. Still, Gaethje Faber acknowledged the constant threat Pimblett poses on the ground, pointing out that submissions and positional control remain powerful equalizers. Even so, Faber ultimately leaned toward Gaethje's experience in managing distance, pace, and damage as tools that could shut those moments down before they fully develop.
Your enthusiasm. Of course I do. I don't know if it's going to be quite so easy. You got to remember Justin Gaethje is a really good wrestler, so he can maybe stop the takedowns. Yeah. We also know that he has beautiful striking and serious knockout power. However, we have got to remember 2024, what was one of the biggest knockouts? It was Max Holloway flatlining Justin Gaethje, face planting him on the octagon. I'm not saying Paddy can't win. I'm just saying I think it might be a little bit tough.
Interview Sean O'Malley brought a different angle to the debate, focusing on how much Paddy Pimblett has evolved, arguing that earlier doubts no longer carried the same weight. He also questioned how Justin Gaethje's accumulated damage and recent knockouts might factor in once the fight becomes physical and prolonged. Paul Felder wrapped the discussion by describing the matchup as a razor-thin clash of styles, contrasting Gaethje's discipline and power with Pimblett's growing composure and versatility. In his view, momentum could shift instantly, danger exists in every exchange, and certainty disappears the moment the cage door shuts.
I also get how Justin Gaethje got here. Yeah, he was just 2 fights ago, face down on the canvas at UFC 300 in what will live forever as one of the greatest knockouts of all time. I get it. I saw it. My live reaction to that was like, oh my God. But you know what you get with Justin Gaethje? You get a kid who shows up, throws down. He's an exciting guy. He will get in your face. He will punch. He's not going to play some boring bullshit. He will fight. So the UFC was met with a challenge. Their champion's getting a divorce, so he stepped away. And now they need to either hold up the entire division or put together a freaking fight for the boys. So they put together a fight for the boys, and this is what they came up with, and I don't hate it.
Long before Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje ever meet inside the octagon, the MMA world splits into loud, emotional camps. Veterans, analysts, and fighters alike sense that this matchup strikes a nerve. Where chaos meets legacy, momentum collides with scars earned through years of war, and no one can honestly claim certainty for more than a fleeting moment.
Justin Gaethje, a collegiate wrestler who doesn't wrestle. He's got powerful hands and willingness to engage. He has no problem moving forward, swinging wild. Paddy Pimblett, a big, strong grappler. Paddy's listed as a smaller person here. He will look bigger in the cage, and I think he is bigger. He's 5'10", Justin Gaethje's 5'11". I don't believe those numbers. Paddy Pimblett is big as shit for this weight class. And when he uses that size and he comes forward, he drags it to the ground, he has a lot of success. On the ground, he's a very slick grappler with incredible control. And if you told me a year ago that Paddy Pimblett would be a UFC champion, I would call you gay. I would accuse you of being a British homer, and I would send you packing. But here we are. We are just a few weeks removed from the bowl-cut king holding a UFC belt. And I love Justin Gaethje. I love Justin Gaethje. He's a dying breed of savage in the UFC, but I don't think he wins here. He was a collegiate wrestler, but he doesn't wrestle. And while I wouldn't want him wrestling in this matchup, I think the problem is he's going to need to defend some takedowns, and those aren't great either. He just got taken down by Rafael Fiziev.
When TNT Fightport released their year-end predictions, Nick Pete made it clear he believed momentum was leaning toward Paddy Pimblett. He pointed to visible improvements, rising confidence, and a pressure-heavy approach designed to overwhelm opponents early, while quietly questioning whether Gaethje's long and violent career is beginning to take its inevitable toll. Pete doubled down by framing the bout as freshness versus wear, arguing that Pimblett's energy, pace, and physicality could disrupt Gaethje before experience has time to assert itself. He predicted a fast, volatile fight where rhythm never settles, and the outcome arrives suddenly, possibly before the audience even recognizes the pattern form.
Here, I hate how high his chin is in fights. When you're in boxing class, they teach you, a lot of them will put a tennis ball under your chin. You keep the tennis ball there, right? You bounce on your toes. They slide paper under your heels. Make sure you're on your toes. You could put a volleyball under Paddy Pimblett's chin. Fuck a tennis ball. You could put a volleyball. His head is straight up in the air. And somebody like Justin, who has no problem walking through fire and bombing away, that could be a problem. But Paddy has been very vocal. I am not dumb enough to get knocked out by Justin Gaethje. So Paddy gets it. He's a high IQ fighter. Justin is one of the best to ever do it, at least as far as excitement is concerned. So I expect Justin to come forward, be exciting, swing wild, and I expect Paddy to get the takedowns, control from there. Paddy Pimblett's going to be...
As excitement continued to build, Michael Bisping offered a more measured perspective, reminding everyone that Justin Gaethje's wrestling foundation, takedown defense, and devastating knockout power remain very real threats. At the same time, he acknowledged that Gaethje's recent brutal finishes add serious risk, turning the fight into a tightrope walk rather than a showcase. Bisping wasn't dismissive of Pimblett at all, instead emphasizing how deceptive this matchup truly is. While Paddy has the tools to win, Gaethje creates mistakes through relentless pressure, and anyone expecting an easy night is ignoring years of elite competition and the kind of grit that only emerges when fights get ugly.
Title. And I know I've just picked favorites the entire card, and I know that is kind of probably not all that exciting for you guys. I am picking Gaethje to beat Paddy Pimblett in this fight. I've been proven wrong by Paddy Pimblett so many times. Over and over and over and over again. If you guys remember, I picked Tony Ferguson to beat Paddy Pimblett in that fight, and I will be honest with you guys, there was a moment there in that third round where it looked like maybe Ferguson was going to get something going because Pimblett did gas out pretty bad in that fight, but that is just cope on my end. And then even then, I picked Michael Chandler to beat him too. Have I ever been more wrong about a fight? Probably not, to be honest with you, but he looked really, really good. The problem with me and Paddy Pimblett, dude, is there's two things that he's just never fixed. His cardio and his